go to item 10. I will move item 10. Councillor Casey, can you second? And then we put it through for discussion. Okay, so look, I'll invite Graham Bodman to end up talking to this particular matter. Thank you.
Kia ora, Chair Alf, councillors and members, Morena, Koto. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. My name's Graham Bodman, General Manager, Arts, Community and Events, and I've got a brief presentation to just speak to. I've also got my colleague Amanda Kelly on the line to answer any questions that may arise that I'm not able to answer well enough. And also just like to note apologies from Catherine George, who's the author of this report and the arts and culture grants that will be coming up shortly. She's away unwell today and unable to attend. So I'll take the paper as read, and just we've got 4 slides here that I'd just like to just highlight the key points, if I may. So the purpose of the paper today is to confirm the priorities and the budget allocation and timing of the funding rounds for the regional arts and culture events and community development grants rounds for financial year 2021. And these are important because they are ways of supporting community-led initiatives that support council's goals for Auckland. And as the slide mentions there's a number of key policies and action plans that inform the grants rounds. So just go to the next slide, please.
Yeah, we're just trying to get it up for you, Graham.
Kia ora. Well, I'll continue and hopefully the slide will come up in a moment. So slide 2's got a summary of the priority areas that's on page 120 of the paper, and just wanted to highlight that the proposal is to carry forward the priorities from last term. So for each of the grants areas for arts and culture, for community development and events, we've got those priority areas, and these include, oh, there they are, kia ora. So you can see them there in front of you. And for those of you who were here in 2017, we did have a workshop with the former Community Development and Safety Committee, I think it was, where we workshopped these priority areas in quite a lot of detail. So the proposal is to carry them forward and also to reflect the our strategy 2022 Kia Manawaroa Tātou, which talks about the importance of focusing on communities that need us most in the context of recovery from COVID-19. And that's our recommendation is to also reflect that aspiration in our assessment criteria. So just next slide, if I may. Another aspect of the recommendation is to consider the budget. So as part of the emergency budget, the recommendation was to reduce, or what was approved in fact, was a reduction of the total budget from 2.036 million to 1.636 million, so a reduction of 400,000 or approximately 20%. And we've got the next slide just summarises what the how we recommend that to be allocated this year. So just go to the final slide. If we may, Maya. Kia ora. So we're recommending the split as per the slide in front of you, and that is a reduction of the events budget from 600,000 to 400,000. And that was reflected explicitly in the consultation documentation for the emergency budget. We're proposing to keep the regional community development budgets the same at $295,000 and see the subsequent a further reduction of $200,000 from the regional arts and culture round from 1.141 million to 941,000. And we're also proposing, instead of having a total of 5 rounds, where normally we would have 2 rounds for regional arts and culture, 2 for regional events, and 1 for community development, just having 1 round each. We've already held the round for regional events, which will be considered as the next item, and we're recommending that we quickly take both the arts and culture and community development rounds to the community next week, so we can actually consider them quickly as 1 round and get them back to this committee before Christmas for final decisions, so we can support organisations as quickly as possible. So that's a very quick summary, Mr. Chair, and I'd be happy to take any questions. Kia ora.
Tēnā koe. Amanda, is there anything to add?
Nothing to add from me, thank you.
Okay then, I'm just going to open up for questions. It appears straightforward, Graham and Amanda. So you've seen the recommendations. I'm just going to, if there's no question. Councillor Simpson.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, my question is, I acknowledge that the budget here has been reduced under our emergency budget, but my question is around the fact that now we're in this year. Are staff confident that this is the best way of is it best to keep the current priorities based on the fact that this is going to be an unusual year, for want of a better word? I mean, are they absolutely, do they stand by their professional advice around the priorities?
Kia ora, Councillor Simpson, through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, we do. We are confident. So we think that Māori aspirations, reflecting diversity, community-led placemaking, and also supporting youth, which are some of those key priorities, remain actually very relevant in the current environment. And we think there's sufficient scope within the assessment criteria to make consideration based on the quality of the applications and these priority areas. So in short, yes, we're confident that these are fit for purpose.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I haven't seen any in the chat, so if there's no further questions, it's been moved and seconded. So I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
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 Against?
Aye.
Thank you. Against? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Graham and Amanda. And then we're moving now to the next item. And